Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Wednesday, February 2nd, 2017. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. The 45th edition of the Leeward Islands Debating Championships will take place on Nevis this year. The milestone regional event takes place from February 23rd to the 26th at the Nevis Performing Arts Centre beginning at 6:30 p.m. daily. Earlier today, students and teachers working to organize the event spoke with us about what to expect.
Night 1 will be Debate 1, St. Kitts versus St. Martin. The high cost of youth unemployment relief programs outweighs the benefits. Night 2, Nevis versus Montserrat. The global rise in anti-immigration sentiments is justified. Debate 3, also on Night 2, British Virgin Islands versus Anguilla. Caribbean educational practices lag far behind other regions. Night 3, winner of Debate 1 versus Antigua, which would be the previous year's winner. Caribbean cybercrime legislation will lead to the suppression of free expression. Also that night, winner of Debate 2 versus winner of Debate 3. Lack of emphasis on the arts will be detrimental to human development in the Caribbean. Night 4, winner of Debate 4 versus winner of Debate 5. The atrocity of our age is the billions of dollars spent on sports.
Two of the persons representing Nevis in this 45th anniversary championships are Gabriella Brantley and Roger Williams, who admitted while a bit nervous, they were confident.
Last year we didn't come out victorious, but we did our best. And from last year, I gained expertise and I'm gonna still be nervous, of course, but last year it gave me a little bit more confidence going into this year. And I feel as though from the experience from last year, we can better our chances of winning this year.
I think it will be a nerve-wracking experience going into it because of the prestigiousness associated with it and because of the difference in debating styles as opposed to what I'm accustomed to at the Regional Youth Parliament. But I think it would be a great experience for me to better my skills and also for me to meet new people, meet some old friends, and enjoy the competitiveness, but at the same time the friendliness, and hope to showcase the beauty that Nevis has to offer.
In this undertaking, the Nevis Literary and Debating Society has been fundraising so as to defray some of the costs associated with the event, including various sales in and out of school, caroling, as well as an upcoming Valentine's event. President and Secretary of the Nevis Literary and Debating Society used the opportunity to thank persons and organizations that have assisted thus far.
I would like to thank everyone who supported us in the last year and going forward. So now we'll turn it over to my secretary who gave us this sponsors who sponsored us so far, to thank them and encourage others to support.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say thank you to Social Security, Bank of Nevis Limited, Ministry of Social Development, Nevis Housing and Land, and Nevlic. These companies have donated so far to our organization. They've been very generous with the amount they've given us, so I'd like to thank them on behalf of the Literary and Debating Society.
The competition, which began in 1972 with 3 islands, Antigua, Montserrat and St. Kitts, was founded by a Mr. George Irish of Montserrat. The competition seeks to bring together secondary and tertiary level students not only to interact but to debate issues germane to the region and its development. The Ministry of Agriculture welcomes all of the help it can get in terms of combating the very serious problems of monkeys on the island and the destruction to various food crops by local farmers. Late last month, the forum was held at the Four Seasons Resort to give an update on efforts being implemented.
This journey with this project would have started back in 2015, and it would have started by one of our citizens Chris Kalin. And I have to say kudos to Chris for this initiative. He would have seen the destruction that these creatures are wreaking on our agricultural industry. And I must say it has been a wonderful initiative, and we want to thank you, the Ministry of Agriculture and the Nevis Island Administration would like to thank you very much for that initiative and for all of the work that you have been doing so far. And as he would have rightly said, he would have gotten the expertise of Vernon here, coming from all the way in South Africa. And Vernon would have made his first trip here in 2015, and thankfully he was back in 2016. He's back for a much longer period. And I have to say that Vernon has been working exceptionally hard on this project. He has dug his heels in, and I know it has not been an easy journey.
Permanent Secretary Evelyn thanked the local persons as well that have been working with the expert to reduce the destructiveness of the monkeys. Dr. Christian Kalin, who describes Nevis as one of his favorite places on the planet, felt he could assist the island in this regard.
I'm quite interested in agriculture and sustainable development, nature conservation and things like that. I saw also neighboring islands that did not have monkeys, the difference it makes to agriculture, but also just to the papaya tree that you may or may not have in your yard. And I saw, and because when I'm here, those of you who know me well, I eat a lot of fruits. I love tropical fruits. And when you have a garden and not the possibility to get those fruits, you go to farmers. And when you talk to farmers, you can really see, or you could see that the monkeys are one of the biggest issues. And also it prevents a lot of people from starting maybe small-scale farms. And this I identified as one of the things that really should be looked at.
The South African expert in conservation, Vernon Gibbs Hall, who has spent much of his life in conservation, has spent the last 16 years studying the monkey and their behavior.
Please always remember monkeys share at least 91 or 92% of our own DNA. So they've got more feelings than generally most non-human animals have got. They fear. They also suffer from anxiety. They grieve terribly. They can console each other. And they can plan and organize themselves, which many animals can't do. They also can sympathize. They can also, I've once compared it to a parliament where you've got politicians. This is how clever monkeys actually are. An alpha male in a troop will be your president, who will keep everybody under control and stop, the lesser males from breeding or eating or too much or whatever the case might be. But those lesser males, which will be your ministers under the president, are actually, what they're doing is they're conniving and they're playing one up against each other, all vying for the position of president. And this is what they do, and they can think. That is their cognitive ability. So they've got an incredible sense of intelligence that is just enormous.
Based on the statistics revealed during the presentation, monkeys are on their way to becoming a huge economic problem, especially in the agriculture industry, and it notes that conditions are perfect for their development. New technological equipment is being brought to bear on law enforcement in St. Kitts and Nevis as government seeks to consolidate gains in 2016 in reducing crime. At a press conference yesterday, Wednesday, Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, stated that a new mobile patrol unit will be deployed in the Federation, bringing the number to 2. A number of drones will also be operationalized to increase surveillance in order to detect and deter from crime. Prime Minister Harris said one of the top international firms in the CCTV industry, Vivotech, is working with the government. Vivotech Inc. has earned a reputation for being a prestigious leading brand in global security surveillance. Their participation in the local project was facilitated by the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan in Bastille. Personnel from the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, RSCNPF, and others are being trained to use the system. The investment in the CCTV program amounts to $5 million to be covered by the Taiwanese government, while the price tag for the mobile patrol unit and the drones costs more than $1 million. Last month, during the first Commissioner's Lecture of 2017, Commissioner of Police Ian Quealy signaled that police will have a greater presence in communities and will follow through on strategies outlined in the 6-point Plan of Action to reduce homicides and violent crimes of 2015. There have been positive gains made by law enforcement since its unveiling. These include decreases in a number of areas of reported crime, transparent promotions, and 36 illegal guns, a record number being seized in 2016. Commissioner Quealy has set a goal of reducing criminal activities by 10% in 2017. Still to come.
Presently, however, there is no interconnector between St. Kitts and Nevis, which is something that we've spoken about on several occasions.
The details after this break. Welcome back. The Nevis Electricity Company and the St. Kitts Electricity Company last week jointly hosted 2 meetings, one in Nevis and the other in St. Kitts, regarding the Integrated Resource Plan for the Federation as it relates to energy generation and distribution. The meetings were facilitated by Joe Oliver and Martin Lin of Deloitte LLP. General Manager of NEVLEC, Jervin Swanston, in his remarks, put the meeting in context.
The Federation has an opportunity to develop a truly green economy, being blessed with solar, wind, and geothermal resource. In fact, Nevis was the first island in the OECS to commission a wind farm back in 2009. Presently, however, there is no interconnector between St. Kitts and Nevis, which is something that we've spoken about on several occasions. Such an interconnector would provide a higher demand, which would allow the variability of the wind generation to be more readily accommodated and would allow the development of larger capacity green generation projects.
According to Joe Oliver of Deloitte Advisory, despite the availability of vast renewable energy potential, the power sector is almost 100% dependent of importing fossil fuels.
Imported fuel oil can be expensive, and it's also vulnerable to changes in prices. And your government has committed to a strategy to work towards 100% renewable energy and using the indigenous resources that you have here, of which there are many in geothermal and solar and wind, as well as biomass. So that's what we're here to help do.
Martin Lin, in speaking to the audience, summarized some of the considerations of integrated resource planning.
Integrated resource planning now is even broader than when it first started. So not only are you thinking about generation supply issues and demand issues, but at the same time you're thinking maybe about environmental and energy security issues as well, so that your generation mix is not about what's the cheapest plant or the cheapest plant compared to energy efficiency, but also that with respect to goals about things like greenhouse gas emissions, or fuel supply security.
Also attending the forum was Thomas Jolett, president of Nevis Renewable Energy International, NREI, the company set to put down Nevis's first geothermal plant. During his presentation, he gave an interactive demonstration of what his company expects to do in terms of the development of the geothermal plant. The Anglican community in the Northeast Caribbean and Aruba this month are observing the 175th anniversary of the organization. To this end, the church and the various regions across the diocese are undertaking a number of activities to celebrate the milestone. Archdeacon Dr. Percival is the head of the church in St. Kitts and Nevis.
We have 12 islands, and we have Antigua, Montserrat, Dominica, Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bartholomew, Saba, St. Eustatius, and Aruba. Those are the 12 islands.
The year-long celebrations have been taking place in the various islands, and celebrations on Nevis will happen in the month of February. Deacon Patronalia Hanley Brown outlined the celebratory activities for Nevis.
February 5th, we have a history of the 5 churches on the island, plus the Cottle Church. On February 11th, we have a pilgrimage from St. Thomas's Church to Cottle Church, starting at 6 o'clock in the morning. On February 19th, we have a rally starting at the square in Charlestown, destination still to be determined. On February 24th, we have a banquet at Mount Nevis Hotel. On February 26th, we have a joint service of all the Anglican churches on the island. We will have T-shirts for both pilgrimage and the rally at a low cost of $30.
Also speaking to us was Reverend Christopher Archibald, who gave the overall theme, which was celebrating our heritage, seizing the moment, and embracing the future.
We have a great heritage, and if not all of the islands in the diocese, most of them, we have had schools. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they have closed. So from way back when, we have been involved in education. And we still continue to see our ministry as all-embracing, holistic. And we often have seminars, we have health talks, we have persons coming into our congregation, sometimes using our halls for community programs. Just recently, there was a group which came to St. Paul's to use the hall to demonstrate the use of basic first aid training, and it was given to them free, of course. And so we continue to provide support for our society in whatever way we can. And in addition to our ministry of visiting hospitals, the prison, we try our best to be engaged. The schools, we have chaplains in the schools. We try our best to impact society in a positive way in every area, as many areas as possible.
All Anglicans and friends of the Anglican Church are encouraged to come out and participate in the various activities which begin on Sunday, February 5th at the St. Paul's Anglican Church Hall. And that brings us to the end of tonight's presentation of the Nevis Newscast. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Thank you for viewing. Good night.